Hey there! Have you ever been speaking English and felt like the words just vanish, turning into an incomprehensible blur? You know that feeling when you're swallowing your words and no one understands you? That can sabotage your chances of making a good impression, whether in a job interview, a conversation with friends, or even on a trip. The truth is that mumbling can be a communication disaster, and you might not even realize it. But hey, relax! In this video, I'm going to show you an incredible trick that will help you unlock your speech and finally be understood. I'll give you the treasure map so your English communication is crystal clear and confident. Get ready to unlock your communication and impress everyone. If you want access to more secrets like this, don't waste time. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any tips. I'm going to reveal secrets that will transform you into a master of English communication here at Learn English Secrets. Prepare to revolutionize your English communication and finally be understood. So, let's go! Efficient exercise. Let's start with a secret that makes all the difference. A super efficient exercise to clarify your speech. You know, when we shift into high gear and it seems like the words become a blur? Well, this simple practice will help you combat that habit of running over English. Trust me, this technique has a huge impact on your pronunciation and, best of all, makes you much more confident when communicating. Have you noticed how some people seem to mumble when they speak English? Mumbling is when we don't articulate the words properly, you know? It's like we're talking with our mouths closed. And that, believe me, hinders understanding a lot. Imagine you're telling a super cool story, but no one can understand because you don't open your mouth properly. Frustrating, right? So, understanding the problem is the first step to solving it and having much more effective communication. The coolest thing is that you don't need magic. Small changes in the way you practice can generate huge results in the clarity of your speech. It's like tuning a musical instrument. Small adjustments make a huge difference in the final sound. And practice, of course, is the key for you to evolve and feel more and more comfortable with English. And hey, no need to be scared. This technique doesn't require complicated methods. Nothing like memorizing complex grammar rules or killing yourself in front of the mirror. Just pay attention to the details of pronunciation, each sound, each syllable. This simplicity is what makes this technique accessible to everyone who wants to improve their English without suffering. Think of this exercise as a warm-up, a preparation of the mind for more refined methods. It's like stretching before running. It prepares you for the effort to come. And this preparation is fundamental for the next technique we're going to explore, the famous listen and repeat. Oh, and an extra tip. Record your voice practicing and compare it with the correct pronunciation. You'll be surprised what you discover. Let's put our ears to work, because now we're going to dive into listen and repeat. This technique is like a magic portal to the world of perfect pronunciation. Seriously, listening to authentic content like podcasts and audiobooks is essential for you to familiarize yourself with the natural sound of English. It's like living in another country for a while, but without leaving home. This practice exposes you to different accents, different intonations, and brings you closer to the speech of native speakers. It's like learning to dance by listening to the music. You absorb the rhythm, the flow, and start to move naturally. And then, when you least expect it, you're already killing it on the dance floor. And repeating what you heard? Oh, that's fundamental. Repeating helps to fix the correct pronunciation and internalize the rhythm of the language. It's like memorizing a cake recipe. The more you repeat the steps, the easier it becomes to do with your eyes closed. Constant repetition is a super effective method to transform listening into practical skill. Mimicking the intonation and speed of native speakers, that's art. It's like an actor who studies his character in depth to interpret it perfectly. This technique allows you to feel the musicality of the language and reproduce it naturally. It's as if you were embodying English, you know? And believe me, that makes all the difference. But hey, no rush. The practice should be done calmly and attentively, avoiding the rush that can lead you to wrong repetitions. Just like meditating, you need to be present, focused to absorb all the benefits. Maintaining focus on each detail strengthens the connection between hearing and articulation. Like a conductor leading an orchestra, each instrument needs to be tuned for the symphony to be perfect. And this approach, for sure, paves the way for fine adjustments in speech speed, which makes the next step even more relevant. And speaking of listening, what was the last podcast or audiobook you listened to in English? Share it here in the comments. I want to know new tips. Controlled speed. Now we're going to talk about controlled speed. Imagine you're driving on a road full of curves. If you're going too fast, you'll miss the details of the landscape, won't you? It's the same with English. Decreasing the audio speed allows you to capture the details that would normally go unnoticed. It's like using a magnifying glass to examine a work of art. You can see each brushstroke, each minute detail. This technique allows each sound to be heard clearly, avoiding assimilation that is too fast. It's like savoring a good wine. You need to feel the aroma, the flavor, the texture to appreciate all its complexity. Reducing the pace is essential to articulate each word with precision, combating common errors in accelerated speech. This way, you train your brain to process and reproduce information correctly. Adjusting the speed on the device itself makes the exercise personalized and more effective. This tool is fundamental to adapt learning to your individual need and pace. It's like choosing the ideal volume to listen to your favorite music. You need to find the right point to relax and enjoy it to the fullest. And look how cool! When listening slowly, all the sounds, including the endings of words like terminations, stand out better. This attention to detail is a differential in the evolution to a clear and correct pronunciation. Understanding the importance of rhythm in the audio paves the way to identify and value the essential sound details in communication. Sound details. It's time to tune your ears and pay attention to the sound details. You know those small details that we don't even notice, but that make all the difference in pronunciation? That's what we're going to focus on now. Focusing on details like endings in ed is crucial for precise pronunciation. These small elements can change the meaning of words and improve the understanding of the message. Just like putting the cherry on the cake, a final touch that makes all the difference. Paying attention to sound subtleties develops auditory perception and the distinction between similar sounds. Practicing listening and repeating phrases allows each sound to be assimilated naturally. The careful repetition of sound details is the path to correcting discrete errors in pronunciation. Identifying and reinforcing the pronunciation of each detail improves self-confidence when communicating in English. It's like learning to ride a bike. The more you practice, the more confident you become. This meticulous work is what transforms speech into a powerful and assertive tool. This attention to detail prepares you for a precise repetition, which we will explore next. And since we're talking about sound, have you noticed the difference in pronunciation between ship and sheep? Small details that change everything. Precise repetition. Now it's time to put everything into practice and focus on precise repetition. You know when you're learning a new choreography? At first, it seems complicated, but the more you repeat the steps, the more natural and fluid the dance becomes. It's the same with English. Repeating phrases with attention to each sound ensures that the pronunciation is incorporated correctly. Developing the ability to repeat is essential to fix the structure and rhythm of speech in English. Correcting mistakes and insisting on repetition until you get it right strengthens auditory and muscular memory. The practice of try, err, correct is a fundamental routine to improve communication. It's like a scientist who conducts experiments until he finds the perfect formula. Persistence is the key to success. Dividing the phrases into smaller parts when necessary helps to maintain precision in each segment. This strategy helps in fixing the content, avoiding forgetfulness or mixing of sounds. Repeating with focus requires patience and willingness to review each detail until the pronunciation is solid. The knowledge acquired with this method becomes a foundation for continuous evolution. It's like planting a seed. You need to take care of it with care and dedication so that it grows and bears fruit. And speaking of dedication, tell me here in the comments what is the word in English that you repeated the most today. And don't forget, if these tips are helping you, leave your like on the video. This motivates me to create more content for you. This technique of repetition with precision connects directly to the ability to divide long phrases, a theme that improves speech articulation. So, ready to repeat and kill it in English? Divide the sentence. Now, let's talk about how dividing sentences into smaller pieces can be the key to unlocking your fluency. You know when you come across that giant sentence in English which seems like a tongue twister? The first reaction is to give a Google Translator, right? But wait, there is a much more effective way to deal with these big phrases. Shall we learn together? Dividing long sentences into smaller segments makes the articulation process lighter and more organized. Imagine you're assembling a puzzle. If you try to fit all the pieces at once, you'll be desperate and probably give up. Now, if you separate the pieces by color or shape, everything gets easier, right? It's the same with sentences in English. Separating the sentence into parts facilitates memorization and ensures that no element is forgotten. Think of it this way. Each piece of the sentence is an important part of the puzzle. If you ignore any piece, the final image will not be complete. By dividing the sentence, you ensure that each word, each sound receives the attention it deserves. Repeating each fragment individually allows for greater focus on the clarity of each word. It's like you're giving a zoom on each part of the sentence. You can better hear the pronunciation, identify the sounds that challenge you, and practice until you get it right. This is the secret to an impeccable pronunciation. This method avoids the accumulation of information and makes the practice less tiring and more productive. Do you agree that it is easier to learn a recipe divided into steps than to try to memorize everything at once? By dividing the sentences, you transform learning into something lighter and more fun. Making small pauses between the segments helps in the assimilation of the complete structure of the sentence. You know when you're reading a text and need to breathe to better understand what is written? The pauses are like that breath. They give your brain time to process the information and connect the ideas. This strategic pause is essential for the brain to process and fix the content properly. Imagine you're running a marathon. If you don't stop to breathe and hydrate, you'll end up exhausted and won't be able to reach the end. The pauses are like that stop to recharge the energies. Working with smaller parts allows to correct the pronunciation in stages, increasing the effectiveness of the exercise. By working with the sentences in parts, you ensure that each detail is perfect before moving on to the next. The fragmentation of the content is a valuable tool to improve the precision and fluency in speech. Think that you are learning to play a musical instrument. You will not start playing an entire song at first, right? You will practice the chords, the notes, the scales until everything fits perfectly. It's the same with English. This approach of dividing the sentence reinforces the focus on accuracy, which is the next important aspect to develop a clear communication. Dividing the sentences is like using a map to get to your destination. You need to follow the directions carefully, paying attention to every detail so you don't get lost along the way. And that's what we're going to talk about next: total focus on accuracy. Focus on accuracy. You know that feeling that you're talking, but nobody understands you? Or that you're understanding everything, but you can't express yourself? So, the focus on accuracy can be the key to solving these problems. Prioritizing clarity and precision in the reproduction of sounds is more valuable than speaking quickly. Imagine you are building a house. Would you rather build a house quickly, but that collapses in the first wind? Or build a house calmly, paying attention to every detail so that it lasts forever? The same goes for English. It's no use speaking fast if people don't understand you. Concentrating on accuracy eliminates common errors and strengthens confidence in communication. By focusing on accuracy, you eliminate errors and feel more confident to communicate in English. Self-checking during repetition helps to identify points for improvement in pronunciation. By self-assessing, you become a more conscious and proactive student. This habit of self-assessment makes the learning process more conscious and directed. Imagine you are learning to cook. You won't simply follow the recipe without thinking, right? You will taste the food, feel the flavors, adjust the ingredients until you reach the perfect result. By self-assessing, you learn to identify your strengths and weaknesses and direct your efforts to what really matters. Working calmly allows each sound to be reproduced correctly and naturally. By working this way, you allow each sound to be assimilated and reproduced naturally, without haste or anxiety. Attention to detail in speech creates a solid foundation for communication without misunderstandings. It's as if you were building a building. You need a solid foundation so that the building doesn't collapse. By paying attention to the details in speech, you create a solid foundation so that your communication is clear, precise, and without misunderstandings. Comparing the quality of speech when speaking slowly and with precision versus a fast speech helps to perceive the differences. By doing this at different speeds, you can perceive the differences and identify the points that need to be improved. This comparison reinforces the understanding that clarity is the true objective of communication. Remember the story of the house that collapses in the first wind? It's no use speaking fast if nobody understands you. The objective of communication is to transmit a message clearly and precisely, and for that, the focus on accuracy is fundamental. This search for accuracy also strengthens the connection between auditory practice and facial muscles, preparing the conversation to become more articulated. Imagine you are learning to play a wind instrument. You need to strengthen the muscles of the mouth to be able to produce the correct sound. By seeking accuracy in pronunciation, you strengthen the connection between auditory practice and facial muscles, preparing your speech to become more articulated and expressive. And that's what we're going to talk about next: turbocharged facial muscles. Facial muscles. Let's turbocharge the speech muscles. Yes, you heard right. Just as an athlete trains the body to perform well, we need to train the muscles of the face to speak English with clarity and precision. Sounds strange? Wait, I'll explain. The constant exercise of repeating phrases works the muscles of speech, improving articulation. Think that your mouth is like a musical instrument. If you don't practice, the sound won't come out perfect, right? By repeating phrases in English, you are exercising the muscles of the mouth, tongue, and face, which improves your ability to articulate the sounds correctly. Like any muscle, regular practice strengthens the ability to pronounce words correctly. It's like going to the gym. In the beginning, you feel pain, fatigue, but with time and practice, you become stronger and more resistant. By practicing the pronunciation of English, you strengthen the muscles of the face and become able to pronounce the words with more ease and precision. Like any muscle, regular practice strengthens the ability to pronounce words correctly. It's like going to the gym. In the beginning, you feel pain, fatigue, but with time and practice, you become stronger and more resistant. By practicing the pronunciation of English, you strengthen the muscles of the face and become able to pronounce the words with more ease and precision. Targeted repetition acts as a training for the facial muscles, adjusting diction and clarity. Imagine you're learning to dance. At first, you feel awkward, without rhythm, but with time and practice, you start to move more lightly and fluidly. By repeating phrases in English with a focus on pronunciation, you are adjusting your diction and clarity, making your speech more natural and expressive. Over time, speech becomes more natural. By practicing the pronunciation of English, you become more confident and secure, and the errors decrease considerably. Strengthening the facial muscles helps to better control the movements necessary to articulate different sounds, and gives you the necessary control to articulate your English with precision. This practice is comparable to physical training, where consistency brings visible results. You know when you start exercising and suddenly you notice that your clothes are looser and you have more energy. The same thing happens with pronunciation. Consistency in vocal exercises brings visible results in your speech. Exercising the speech muscles also contributes to greater endurance during prolonged conversations. Ever felt your mouth tired after speaking English for a long time? Strengthening the speech muscles is like training for a marathon. You gain resistance and can maintain clarity in speech even in long conversations. The development of this strength can transform the way you communicate, making everything more fluid. Imagine the difference it makes to have confidence in your voice when presenting in English, participating in meetings, or simply talking with friends. A strengthened oral musculature gives you the basis for a more fluid and effective communication. So, what is the sound of English that you find most difficult to pronounce? Comment here below. I want to know what your biggest challenges are. Who knows, we don't make a video just about that. The improvement in oral musculature connects directly with the general benefits that will be explored next, demonstrating how each step reinforces the other. General benefits. We have reached a crucial point, the benefits of everything we have learned so far. Because, let's face it, learning English is not just about grammar and vocabulary, right? It's about communicating, connecting with the world, and of course, feeling more confident. So, I have prepared a summary of the benefits that you will reap by practicing these techniques. Let's go! Practicing these techniques results in a significant improvement in pronunciation and clarity of communication. The results go beyond the correction of sounds, strengthening confidence when speaking in English. Ever felt that cold in the belly before speaking English? Practicing pronunciation is like doing a warm-up before a show. You feel more prepared, confident, and secure to present yourself. The integration between attentive listening, precise repetition, and correct articulation creates a solid foundation in learning. It's as if you were building a house. You need a good project, attentive listening, quality materials, precise repetition, and an experienced team, correct articulation, to build a solid and lasting house. By integrating the pronunciation techniques, you build a solid foundation for your learning. This union of skills allows you to communicate with greater naturalness and security. Over time, constant practice improves the coordination between the ear and facial movements, making your speech more natural and expressive. This synergy is essential to master the subtleties of the language and express yourself effectively. You know when you watch a movie and can understand all the nuances of the story? Mastering the language is like having access to a world of possibilities. You can connect with people from different cultures, express your ideas clearly, and feel part of a globalized world. The ability to identify and correct your own errors reinforces continuous evolution in learning. This healthy self-criticism is a vital component for the progress and improvement of speech. Remember that saying that to err is human? Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Use your mistakes as learning to evolve and improve. Healthy self-criticism is the key to success. The benefits obtained with these practices opened the way for more advanced techniques, making learning a dynamic and continuous process. Learning English is like climbing a mountain. The more you climb, the more beautiful are the landscapes, and the more challenging are the trails. By practicing pronunciation, you prepare yourself for future challenges and make your learning more dynamic and continuous.
Final review. Before saying goodbye, let's do a final review of everything we learned today. After all, knowledge kept is useless, right? So, I have prepared a summary of the essential points for you to put into practice and turbocharge your English. Ready? Recapitulate the essential points. Listen attentively, reduce speed, repeat accurately, and divide long sentences. It's as if you were assembling a puzzle. You need all the pieces to form the complete picture. By recapitulating the essential points, you ensure that all the pieces are in the right place to build your fluency. Each stage complements each other and builds a clearer and safer communication in English. And it is worth highlighting the importance of constant practice to consolidate the acquired knowledge. Remember that story that practice makes perfect? Don't be fooled. Perfection doesn't exist, but constant practice takes you closer and closer to it. By practicing constantly, you consolidate your knowledge and become more and more fluent. Regularity is fundamental to transform the technique into habit and see consistent results. Highlighting how improved pronunciation strengthens self-confidence in English conversations is another important point. Ever felt that cold in the belly before speaking English? An improved pronunciation is like an armor. It protects you from fear, insecurity, and gives you the necessary confidence to express yourself with clarity and security. Clear speech opens doors to better interactions and learning opportunities. Imagine you are traveling to a foreign country. If you speak the local language clearly, you can communicate with people, ask for information, make friends, and make the most of your trip. Clear speech opens doors to a world of possibilities. And remember to encourage the integration of other complementary practices, always seeking to improve communication. By combining the techniques, you make the learning process more effective and fun. Thus, we can conclude that each tip interlinks to form a robust strategy that not only corrects flaws, but also transforms your communicative ability, encouraging the continuous search for the best practices in the English language. So, ready to put everything into practice and become an expert in English pronunciation? Remember, learning is a continuous journey, so don't give up. With dedication and the tips from Learn English Secrets, you will achieve the fluency of your dreams.
Hey guys, we've reached the end of another mumbling, detonating video. But hey, before you run off to practice, let's do that smart recap to fix everything in your mind, okay? Remember, the secret is to listen carefully, slow down when you need to, repeat with precision, and, of course, don't be afraid to divide the big sentences into smaller pieces. Each step takes you closer to clear and confident communication in English. And speaking of confidence, don't forget that constant practice is the key. The more you train, the more natural your speech becomes. And the best of all, a top pronunciation opens doors to incredible conversations and opportunities that you can't even imagine. Now, as usual, let's test your ears and your understanding. I have prepared a secret phrase that summarizes one of the secrets we revealed today. Write it down. Speak English clearly, as if you were. So, did you get the tip? I want to see your creativity in the comments. Complete the sentence in a fun way and show that you have mastered the content of the video. Oh, and if you liked the tips and want more secrets to turbocharge your English, leave that like that strengthens and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss anything. With Learn English Secrets, the key to unlocking your English is always within reach. Keep practicing and unveiling the Learn English secrets by watching this video or checking out this playlist here. See you in the next video.